Okay, so we're going to be taking a look at another one of the posts on the Korean Mabinogi Eternity project site. So I would like to talk about texture production during the process of remodeling Turconail, where Militians will live. If you change the engine to Unreal, the background graphics will have to get better. Wouldn't it be possible to make it respond to real-time light by adding normal, roughness, and specular so that the characteristics of each material stand out? I'll make all the backgrounds you've wanted to make for a while. The will to create a truly fantastic background was sparked. However, our Mabinogi isn't like this. I worked too hard on sculpting using graphics tools, but it didn't have the hardwood feel that Mabi has. When I strengthened the normal, realizing low polygons with the three-dimensional effect of high polygons, the clear feeling typical of Mabi did not appear. However, I gathered my courage and went back to the beginning and thought about what elements determine the characteristics of Mabinogi's background. Mabinogi is a cartoon graphic. The flat feel of the environment setting creates a unique 2D feel, and the diffuse texture has strong contrast to bring out the sense of mass. The sense of shape and proportion of the background had a simpler and more casual feel than the realistic proportions. On the other hand, the texture was closer to real life than expected. In these cases, Mabinogi's background identity was being added. So here's a good example of like the wooden textures being showed well. And then Avalon clearly shows like stone texture. This was it. More than anything, I realized that texture plays a big role. The unique, clean, and organized feeling comes from the texture. So, I tried creating the texture right away. First, create a shape. To what extent should sculpting using graphics tools be done? In sculpting shaping using graphic tools, I decided to neatly process large chunks and edges and only add large cracks to the wood texture. Work efficiency is also important, so the wood grain feel was created using alpha in the tool. So here you can see, like, this is the door to Duncan's house, and this is like the window. We've all seen the preview of his house in Unreal Engine. Second, create a diffuse base color of the object texture. In the past, texture creation was created by combining photo textures with Photoshop or drawing them directly. Nowadays, several tools such as ZBrush and Substance are used. Looking at the Mabinogi texture, we could see that it was close to real life and had a high density. It has a semi-realistic feel that has been processed through photo texture synthesis for stylized texture with high detail. Since it was produced 20 years ago, it had a strong feel of a photo composite hand mat. To reflect these aspects, using the production tool, we used the wood grain texture as a base and built it up one by one. Use the sharpen filter sharpening effect to express highlights and depicted parts more clearly. In particular, care must be taken when creating high polygons to clearly express highlights and shading at the edges. And this looks pretty cool. You can like see how in this picture like the wood is like changing. That looks really cool. And here you can see the front of Duncan's house again. This was it. Although the road was difficult, I was very proud that I had laid the foundation for transferring Mabinogi's style to the new engine. Yeah, it's very important Mabinogi has the same style, and this guy did really good work on this. Like, this isn't easy to do. So on the left we have existing resources, so the resources from Pleon Engine, and on the right we have the Unreal Engine resources. So this is the church in Pleon Engine and the bank in Pleon Engine, and this is the church in Unreal Engine and the bank in Unreal Engine. Making the tiles was also difficult. The tiles also used a texture that was close to real life and had a high density. Think of it as a semi-realistic texture with a processed feel through compositing from a photo texture or a stylized texture with high detail. I tested it out in two ways. Processed through Substance Designer texture creation tool for soil and grass, you can see it here, and photo plus PRB, so physically based rendering, resource synthesis for the soil and grass, so you can see like the two differences between these pictures. How to create a Substance Designer from a stylized feel to a more realistic depiction. Advantage: as work resources accumulate, you can quickly work with tiles with a different feel by reorganizing and recycling nodes. Disadvantage: it takes time to express photo-like details. And photo texture and PRB resource plus Substance Designer and Sampler equals composite. The work speed is fast. Disadvantages is it requires reliance on photo resources, so expressions are limited. So here's another cool picture of Cherconale Town Square. This is kind of cool because now we have a closer look at the actual town square area that a lot of us have spent a lot of time being AFK in. So I like the wood that they decided to add here. That wasn't here before. It used to just be all stone. It looks like they added like wood right here in like the four corners. I think that's to make it feel a little bit more like a bench. And you can also see like the brick right there. That looks cool. And you can see some brick over there too. Overall, I think they did a really good job with this. This looks like Town Square. It feels good. We can see everything appearing. We can see all the trees appearing, all the buildings and fences, the water, the dock for fishing. Let's go right to here. This is our first real look at like Cherconale as a whole. The only thing we really can't see is Fergus's shop. So there's the healer's house way over there. That's going to be the graveyard. I would love to see some close-ups of what the graveyard is going to look like. Looking back, a lot of things happened. There's still a lot to do, but the style has been established. This is how the background graphics of Mabinogi Eternity are being produced. So this was an interesting post to read. I'm definitely glad that they're interested in capturing Mabinogi's style and making it feel like the same game. Okay, so today we're going to be looking at the Mabinogi Eternity section on the Korean website. And today we're going to be looking at For Silky Militian Hair. So, hello, this is Developer K. I would like to talk about the process of applying physics-based animation to bring life to the hair of Militians. In the beginning, there was a skeleton, so this is a skeleton of a Militian. The screenshot above is of the skeleton omitted for illustration purposes. In the actual game, more skeletons are used for various movements. Traditional animation techniques for creating character movement include: there's a basic skeleton for the character, and the key animation which moves the skeleton in XYZ direction and adds a key to each frame is common. For example, let's consider the motion called walking. Since the legs must move back and forth, the thigh, calf, foot, and toe bones must be moved each frame to set the height, left foot, right foot, respectively. Of course, let's move the arms naturally too. Let's set the height by moving the upper arm, forearm, and hand skeletons each frame. For natural movement, the body also needs to be in rhythm. So pelvis, spine, neck, etc. Walking was used as an example, but in Mabinogi, all character movements are performed in the same manner as above. It is a key animation method that holds the key by moving the position of the skeleton for each frame. The motions of various skills, the motions of actions, etc., all movements. When the above skeleton moves, the attached modeling should also move along with it, right? The work done to achieve this is called rigging and skinning. Connect each vortex of modeling to the skeleton rigging and set the skeleton by giving weights that will be affected by its movement skinning. This allows the attached modeling skin to stretch or shrink when the skeleton moves. Since the basic skeleton of the character is shared, even if the modeling is changed, if the skinning is done properly, the animation operates normally. So hair animation. Let's take an example of a ponytail. It is said that animation must be added to the ponytail hair with all key animation data created based on the basic skeleton described above. First, we need to add a skeleton for the ponytail for movement to the basic skeleton. So here you can see the picture for an example. Now all you have to do is add a key for the movement of the additional skeleton for the ponytail to the animations you previously created for character movement. In all character animations 13,586, the key of the skeleton added for the ponytail must be adjusted step by step. So here's all the steps. As the hair bones continue to be added to the base bone, rigging and skinning problems also arise. So separation of the hair skeleton. Before something like the above becomes difficult just by imagining it, let's separate the hair skeleton from the basic skeleton. Leave the existing basic skeleton and animation data as is and create a separate skeleton for the hair. Let's use the ponytail as an example again. Let's create a separate hair skeleton like this and create a separate animation for the ponytail that will run simultaneously with the existing animation. At this time, when the walking animation of the basic skeleton is executed, the walking animation of the ponytail skeleton is also executed at the same time. The animation operates separately on the two skeletons, but the result looks like one movement. Of course, for this it is necessary to adjust the frame length of both animations and keep adjusting them based on the basic skeleton animation so that the hair does not stick out too much. Separating the skeleton only solves problems in the rigging and skinning process compared to adding a hair skeleton to the basic skeleton. The process for creating a key animation corresponding to all existing animations is the same. Currently, in the case of moving wigs and hair Mabinogi, the skeleton is separated for each hair mesh and a key animation is created and applied in response to the motion applied to the existing basic skeleton. Physics-based animation. What is physics animation? It has physical properties such as mass, inertia, damping, and elasticity. This refers to animation that is simulated to produce results similar to everyday physical phenomena. In short, if you set various conditions, movement is automatically created according to the physical phenomena. If you just listen to the exclamation, there is no need to specify the position and for the skeleton for each frame like in the existing key animation. It sounds like a technology that naturally and automatically simulates the position of the skeleton. In reality, there are many things to consider in order to express natural movement. Let's use the ponytail as an example again. Even in motion, in place, in motion that moves and runs, or in motion with high acceleration, the simulation should come out not moving as if it's bouncing too much, right? In small movements, there is little response to external factors, so it is difficult to express the ponytail's movements in detail. On the other hand, with large movements, acceleration or collisions can make the simulation unstable, causing the movement to appear inaccurate. To respond to these problems, adjust the parameters of the physics simulation or adjustments to the magnitude and direction of the motion are required. Nevertheless, there are cases where it is not possible to satisfy both extreme situations of small motion and large motion. Initial physics-based animation test appearance, so that's this here. So 1, no physical animation, and 2, small physical animation movement, and 3, large physical animation movement. So you can see here how the hair isn't moving at all when the character moves, and you can see here how it's moving a little bit when the character moves, and in 3 you can see how the hair is moving a lot when the character moves. For the flowing Malaysian hair, the key animation and physics-based animation introduced above are all research and development processes for the flowing Malaysian hair. In addition, there are various contents such as combination of key animation and physics-based animation, retargeting system, etc. We will cover related content in the next costume animation, the 4-pointed skirt Okay, we will cover related content in the next costume animation. The 4-pointed skirt is actually... As the journey of the Mabinogi Eternity project continues, Malaysian's hair will become even more luscious. Okay, so this is good. So they are working on hair movement in this part of the update. Okay, so we'll be looking at another part of the Mabinogi Eternity section on the Korean website. So the 4-point skirt is actually... So we develop with Unreal Engine, so of course the skirt will naturally flow, right? This time we will focus on expressing natural movement in costume animation, especially skirt-shaped costumes. Let me introduce you to the animation-related R&D process. Let's briefly recall the key animation and rigging and skinning introduced in the hair animation section. Key animation holds the key by moving the position of the skeleton for each frame. Rigging and skinning connect each vertex of the modeling to the skeleton rigging and give the skeleton a weight to be affected by its movement, skinning. 4-point skirt, not bulletproof. Taking the popo skirt as an example, the skirt hem of the popo skirt is rigged and skinned to the leg bones, so when the legs move due to the key animation, the attached skirt moves together. So what should I do to make the skirt part of the 4-point skirt move separately? You just need to create an additional skeleton to move the skirt and set a separate key animation. Volitions who have seen the hair animation process will have already noticed, but there is a problem. So they're just saying the same, they're just using the hair example here. If this continues, the skeleton will continue to proliferate as each costume has a different shape. However, this is a problem I have already experienced once with hair animation. Just apply the same solution as hair animation. So, cloth simulation. It is a type of physics-based animation that was previously introduced in hair animation. It refers to a technology that imitates the motion of flexible materials such as clothing or fabric. What makes hair animation different from physically based animation is that cloth simulation movements do not require a skeleton. Of course, since physical calculations are performed at the vertex level instead, it is bound to be heavy in terms of performance. What if we combined Mabinogi with cloth simulation, which is excellent for expressing the smooth movement of fabric? I started applying the cloth simulation by imagining the possum skirt I was wearing swaying in the air every time I walked. The problem is form. A problem occurred during testing with various types of skirts: short skirt, long skirt, wide skirt, narrow skirt. By rigging and skinning, there are no parts that can be stretched beyond the original form of the modeling. As physics calculations were performed at the vertex level, side effects occurred, such as legs going through the skirt or the bottom of the skirt being rolled up. Of course, there is room for improvement by setting additional physical properties and increasing the amount of computation. It was difficult to expect natural movement in long and narrow skirts. If you attach a skeleton as before, rig it, skin it, and then use the key animation to move it, the mesh will stretch beyond its existing shape. The movement of the flowing skirt that was initially thought is moving further away. Physics simulation again. As applied in previous hair, a separate skeleton for the skirt was created, separated from the basic skeleton, and attached to the skeleton for the skirt. A method of applying physics simulation was introduced. The basic skeleton of the character is used to control the character's movement. This skeleton determines the overall movement of the character and handles the basic animations such as walking, running, jumping, etc. The skeleton for the skirt is responsible for simulating the physics of the skirt parts, used to represent the movement of the skirt more realistically. Physics-based animation calculates the movement of the skirt by considering physical factors such as gravity, air resistance, and external interference. For example, when a character moves quickly, the effect of a skirt blowing in the wind is physically simulated. The physical effects make the game character's motion feel more lifelike and realistic. By combining these two separate skeletal systems, the overall movement of the character utilizes traditional animation techniques, while the movement of one particular part, the skirt, is expressed more naturally through physics-based form. However, there were problems with applying physics-based animation. In small movements, there is less response to external factors. The movement of the skirt is difficult to express in detail. On the other hand, with large movements, acceleration or collisions make the simulation unstable, causing the movement to appear inaccurate. To respond to these problems, it is necessary to adjust the parameters of the physics simulation or adjust the size and direction of motion. There were limits to the physical simulation results appearing natural in all movements. Combination of key animation and physics simulation. To solve the problem, key animation was applied to the skeleton at the beginning of the chain in the chain-shaped skirt skeleton. This ensures that movement at the top of the skirt is reliably controlled by key animation. We apply physics-based animation to the remaining bones of the skirt, propagating physical movement based on the key animation movement of the top bone. Through this, it has become a form that can satisfy both stability in large motions and movement in small motions. The problem is that you need to separate the skeletons for all skirt-shaped meshes and set key animations for each skeleton for each mesh. To solve this, we used Unreal's retargeting function. Utilize retargeting system. To increase efficiency, add a skirt bone to the basic torso skeleton. Using this, we used Unreal's retargeting system in the process of applying key animation to the top bone of the skirt. Add the skirt's armature to the main torso armature. This integrates the skirt and bodice bones into one frame. Apply key animation to the skirt bone added to the basic torso bone. The animation will control the movement of the top part of the skirt. Using Unreal's retargeting system, skirts of various shapes, long skirts, short skirts, skirts with one side long, skirts with different waistlines, starting points, allows you to correspond to the movements of the basic torso skeleton. Through this, the movement of the upper part of the skirt is moved by the key animation of the skirt bone of the basic torso skeleton, and the remaining parts are moved by the animation key of the skirt bone of the basic body skeleton. Each skirt is moved by a physics simulation of the skeleton connected to the mesh. Using a retargeting system, we efficiently integrate the structure of the existing torso skeleton and the newly added skirt bone. It was effective in combining animations for various parts by flexibly constructing the character's skeleton. So you can see in this image here, retargeting results, light blue basic skeleton, blue skirt mesh skeleton. Okay, so yeah, the light blue here is like the basic skeleton, and then the dark blue here, the normal blue, is the skirt mesh skeleton. We may not be satisfied with all forms, but we will find the answer. As always, below is a temporary modeling resource for testing that was used in the early R&D process. Key animation, torso skeleton plus upper skirt skeleton, physical animation, skirt lower skeleton, combination result. So here you can see those images. The 4-point skirt was actually a skirt that moved in the air. All of the content introduced above was a process to express the natural movement of the 4-point skirt. Although cloth animation has not been applied to cloth skirts, research is underway to apply it to cloaks and certain types of mesh. In addition, various research is underway to improve the natural motion of clothing using a new engine. Alright, let's start playing Mabinogi today. So, let's see. That's fine leather. Got a bunch of fine leather sold. So what kind of shadow missions do we have today? Gathering is... Oh, that's still the eggs one. That's from yesterday, so I can change channels and get a new one. Champion of the... Shadow Realm Champion. Yeah. That one sucks. I don't like it. But I'll probably do it. Offering. Okay. Offering's fine. Okay, those expire in 5 minutes. I can use one of those up in 5 minutes. Well, no, I'll just toss them. I'll try and get new passes. Wait, no, I won't because I don't want to do... Well, yeah, that's what I'll do. Just thinking. Alright, so today is Friday. Let's go and get 4 passes. I don't need any of those Baltame passes. I don't really do Baltame missions anymore. We'll put the dungeon passes here. And then the shadow mission passes down here. Okay, Shadow Crystal for offering. And then... Shuriken as the main weapon, because Shadowbind is very helpful for that. And then we'll also equip something for our magic skills as our second weapon, because Polar Vortex is also pretty good at pulling enemies in. So this makes a good combination for the offering mission. Let's go over to the Druid's House Moongate. Put those over here. And doll bags. Alright, let's go. Got all of them that time. Oops. Okay, that backfired a little. Oh, there's a lot of them this time. Oh, now it's time for the boss. Done. Gems, spirit gems, reforged tools. Okay, time for Shadow Realm Champion. Done. Okay, let's go over to Dumbarton, and we'll figure out what our daily dungeons are. See our dungeon for the veteran one. And today's daily dungeon is Coil. Alright. Really quick, let's change channels so I can get a new daily gathering. Wow, we have 5 busy channels and 1 full channel. That's it's pretty good. Channel 5 doesn't have as many personal shops as Channel 4 does. I'm not seeing any out here. Base herbs, yeah, we can do that. And I think the fox says that, so we'll summon him. How many are there? 5 or 8? 5 this time. And done with that. Let's go talk to the event NPC. There isn't too much from his shop that I actually want, honestly. I guess I'll get one of the pet whistles. I gotta do something with these though. Like now we have that Pony Pinata pet, the blue dragon, and the abyss dragon thing. Also have that alpaca that I need to do something with. Okay, well, since it's so close to the time for the Pony Pinata, we're just gonna go over there and wait for a little bit. Because he shows up at 9 a.m. Actually, this sure would be a good idea. Because you're pretty high up when you're on like a chair like this. So you can see a lot of the field around you when the Pony Pinata shows up. Okay, he's over here. Meteor actually does some good damage on him. Let's get him with 3 of them. Get these guys out of here. I don't like having them behind me like that. Alright, that's good enough. We don't need to actually finish him off. So really quick, I'll feed my spirit weapon because it'll take a while for the game to notice I'm out of combat. 91%. Back to the NPC. Alright. We'll turn that in. So let's put the knuckles on as a second piece of equipment. Safe. We're gonna go do CR Dungeon next on veteran mode for the daily. Alright, it's time for the boss, which I think is just a golem and some skeletons, right? Yeah, metal skeletons. Okay, I'm not worried about the one over by the golem, because we're just going to use 3 meteors and he'll get wiped out. Actually, you only got hit by one of them, but we still don't need to worry about him. Hey, one at a time. Alright, you wanna try that team up crap? And stay close together. And done in 28 minutes and 15 seconds. He didn't drop anything good, did he? No, not really. Okay, that one's done. Okay, so we don't need to give you all 6. How about 2? Two more? 97. 99. Okay, I guess you will take all 4. Just making sure I'm not giving her more than I need to. So level 71, you have 5 now. We need 2 more points to level that. Let's raise that bond up. Alright, time to run Coil Dungeon. So let's go there next. Coil Dungeon doesn't have an advanced mode, it just has intermediate. Oh, we can take off spell lock. Alright, time for the boss. Fire Sprite and a Headless. Oh, a few Fire Sprites. Okay, we're already done. What do we have in here? Icebound. I don't recognize that enchant. Magic powder. Let's take a look at that. I've just never seen that one before, or if I have, I don't remember what it does, so might be kind of cool to look at. Icebound. Frozen Blast, freeze duration, plus 2 seconds. And Frozen Blast effective range, plus 8, wow. So this is really good if you like using the alchemy skill Frozen Blast. And it's a rank 7, so yeah, this enchant isn't horrible. That's not too bad. I do like freezing things, I just don't use Frozen Blast or Alchemy that much. Wait, is that an exclusive enchant, or is that just, yeah, it's exclusive, so... I think I already enchanted that cylinder I have. Let me see if I did or not. Where did I put it? The bank? Probably in there. Let's have a look. All the accounts. Okay, there's yours, there's this one, here's the cylinder. Oh, there is an Icebound enchant on this. So I guess I clearly knew about it then. Cool. But yeah, that's the cylinder I'll use with my giant. I know it's pretty weak, but it's going to look pretty good for that character's design specifically, and also I don't really use a lot of alchemy skills, so I don't really need like a super good cylinder for him, because I don't ever see myself playing like as an alchemist like full time. Just to train up the skills maybe once in a while for fun. Alright, let's what should I do next anyway? I'm trying to think. I could do commerce, I could do more dungeons. Doesn't really matter. I guess I should go with what has the best chance of getting me fine leather. Maybe I'll use up that old Rundle pass from a couple days ago. Go do that, and then maybe do some very advanced runs. I might not do commerce at all. But I also have like these 2 speed potions that could let us do commerce with 40% more movement speed for like a full hour. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's what I want to do. I think I want to do Rundle Dungeon on Veteran mode, maybe. Use up that pass. No, that'll take too long. I do want to do it, but that'll take a long time. So instead, let's use up these 3 passes. Let's run Berry Dungeon on Advanced. And then maybe during the last hour, we'll go ahead and do Commerce with those speed potions. You got 42 minutes left, and you got an hour left? Okay, cool. Yeah, let's do some fine leather runs. Maybe I can sell another stack of 10 today. How much gold have I made so far? Not too bad. 250k. Alright, first run. Let's go. Uncle Irby, welcome to the stream. I'm running very advanced a few times for some fine leather, because this dungeon has a pretty good fine leather drop. Yeah, typing with those touchscreen devices is always kind of a pain. It's harder to type correctly with those kinds of keyboards, and when you do, then it wants to like auto-correct a bunch of words that don't need to be auto-corrected. Silver plate. Let's remove some aggro there. Ooh, he still poisoned me. And then we'll use this. Quickly, quickly, quickly. There we go. A standing desk, huh? That's pretty cool. I've seen a few of those, like, in stores and stuff. I think the only thing preventing me from, like, getting a standing desk is, like, the fact that my computer area is such a mess that I don't ever want to really go through the trouble of having to move it, so the next time I ever do have to, like, move my computer area for whatever reason, I would probably consider, like, getting a standing desk. Might also be cheaper in the long run too, because then you don't have to like buy a new computer chair like every couple of years. But then again, I also don't know like how long those types of desks are supposed to last themselves. Do a quick healing really fast. Couldn't hurt. Oh, guess I need to. Didn't realize that this was so close. And the boss key. Awesome, thanks for the follow. These new gremlins are pretty easy with Meteor. Whoops, unless they notice me like that one. Sometimes... Oh, he didn't outrun it. I thought he outran my Meteor there for a second. Occasionally they notice me when I come in here. So what do we have in here? Spirit gems, some gold, reforged tools, that's it. And then I think I keep like mining stuff in this cat. Silver plate. Did I find anything else? Not really. Keeping all this mining stuff is actually pretty handy because it makes it a lot cheaper to level... What was it? Transmutation or something? Or... It was one of these alchemy skills where like you can get a lot of XP for like using stuff like that from mining and blacksmithing. Okay, so we had 6 fine leather before we went in, and now we have... Wait, where? Finest, cheap, common. Okay, so I guess I don't have any other pieces, so that means we found exactly 4. We finished that stack. And second run, so I'll do 2 more runs of very advanced. Gonna get a few more pieces, because that fine leather sells good. Yeah, let's do that. that one. If I hit all the like wrong orbs that summon monsters instead of like hitting the right one, then I have to fight more enemies, and that means there's a higher chance to find leather. That's also handy when you're hunting for like monster transformations too. Sometimes it's better to fight more. Oops, that way leads to a dead end. Don't want to go that way. Go this way. Wait, we went that way, so now we go this way. And let's make this run and then part of the next one go a little bit faster. We'll use that Japari arc buff. Okay, there's some fine leather. Very nice. Get those guys. Oops. See that? No matching key. Where did I miss the key? Oh, I forgot to grab this one. Let's just do this, and do this. And we'll fry the rest of them. Oh wait, they're all dead. Okay, good. Perfect. Let's go and grab that. And yeah, we're getting close to the boss. An iron plate, that's nice. Let's go over here. There's the boss key. Meteor. Done. Boss is done. No chance. And what do you got? Some spirit gems, reforged tools. I forget what the colorful enchant scroll does. Colorful. Okay, it's a prefix rank A enchant for alchemy, I guess. Where's my fine leather at? Okay, so we had 10 when we went in, this stack right here, and now we have this stack of 2. So that's pretty good. We found 2 fine leather here. And one more run, and then we'll spend the rest of the stream doing commerce after that. Is that bear almost that time? 8 minutes. Okay. I'll have to check on him and replace him for another ball bag later. Come on. There you go. And we go this way. Get that gold too. There we go. Let's go through this door. Oh, and some vine leather too, nice. Go ahead and do that. Okay, that bear is about to run out of summon time, so we'll summon up this one, which is set to pick up tailoring materials too. To take the bear's place when he finally vanishes in a minute or so. Hey, a copper plate. Very nice. Silver plate. Hallway enemies. We'll give him with this. Getting close to the boss room there. Okay, that one is dead. It moved a little bit, so I thought it was still alive. There's the boss key. Merchant and boss room. And one shot. Boss is down. So we entered with 2 fine leather in that stack, now we have 4, so only 2 this time too. That's alright. Found a lot of fine leather today. Spirit gems, reforge tools, and I'm not gonna need these guys anymore because I'm not gonna do any more runs. Let's feed my spirit weapon and then we'll start working on some commerce. %, not too bad. Okay, so I'll keep my knuckles equipped because I always use Mage and Dark Diviner for commerce. Let's get rid of some of this other crap that I don't need. All that can go. That can go, 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 that. And that. Don't need this on anymore. Deactivate. Put a clover back here. Give the cat the plates. Alright, let's see if they have anything to trade in Core Village. Because speed potions are also very helpful for these long Idia runs. Yeah, they do have some. Nice, we'll take this to Philia for 443. I think this is Mila's theme, the blacksmith in Philia. It's definitely some song from Philia. I can't think of any other ones I picked from Philia other than hers. Expand that map. I always expand these maps for commerce. So I can just click somewhere and go. Oops, almost ran right into that bandit. Don't attack the armadillos, attack these guys. Oh, of course, it rubber bands me like super far away. Oh yeah, I guess I should also summon a commerce stall bag. Let's move this up. Over. Perfect. Okay, 494, I mean, not 494, 443 here, so that's 44k gold. Let's go see what they have in Tilton. Maybe some of those alchemy crystals. Yeah, they do have some. Nice. So, 372 at Bangor. Awesome. These usually sell for the most at Bangor. Sometimes it changes and they sell for more at E-Main, but most of the time Bangor. So we're going there next. Okay, let's sell this stuff here. So 39,000 gold, that's not too bad. And then let's see what they have in E-Main. So butterbeer goes for 43 and triple pasta goes for 50. Alright, we're gonna take some triple pasta over to Tailton. We'll go into the Dunbarton area, go past Rabi, go past the Bard Camp, enter South Tailton. Follow that route. And maybe we'll see the Irusan Pinata. Let's see if we see it here. Because it should have appeared like an hour and a half ago in game time. I've seen the Irusan Pinata like 2 or 3 times, but I've never attacked it. There it is. That's so cool how even its tail like moves. Oh, he has been damaged. That's too bad. Well, I'm not gonna attack that one. That one's a cat, so I can't. Get these guys out of here. Okay, so we made like 17k off that run. They have some alchemy crystals. Those are going for 272 at E-main. So I guess we'll take those next. Wait, how many do they have? I wasn't paying attention to the quantity. Okay, we'll take those, and then... These sell for a little bit more in Bangor, but I'll take them to E-main anyway. I'm not gonna go to 2 separate towns for this. It's close enough. So back the way we came, all the way back to E-main. Okay, let's go back to Core Village and see if they have any more of that coral rubber again. They might not, but it never hurts to check. Gonna do a few more rounds of commerce. So what you guys have here? No, they don't have any. Crap. I was kind of hoping that they would, but they don't. So we'll go to Turkona. We'll see what they have over there. These go for 103 in Tara, so that's where we're gonna take them then. And we're at Tara. Go ahead and sell this stuff here. For 103, 32,000 gold. How many of those do you have? 26. Let's go ahead and use the camel. And we'll take this to... Yeah, I guess I'll take it to Bangor for 2857. Sure. So Bangor is the next goal. And then maybe we'll do like one more commerce round after that? I don't know. I'll decide when I get there. Alright, we made 59k from that run. I think that's gonna do it for commerce for today. I don't think we'll do any more. You got 5 durability left. I guess I should do some repairs. $45k? That's not too bad. We still have like 704k to put into savings. That's nice. Deposit all that. Do I want to check the auction house for anything before I go, or? I guess I do want to list that fine leather stack that I have. We'll put that on sale. Alright, well, we're gonna wrap up the stream right around here for today. And we'll be doing more Mabinogi things on Monday. And then I'm really looking forward to the end of next week, actually, because then the fantasy party in Korea is going to be going on I think, the 21st. So I'm really looking forward to watching that live stream, figuring out what Korea's next move is for Mabinogi.